I'm Dr. Cindy Davis Evans with the Cindy Davis Show. My guest today has appeared in several TV series and over 100 commercials. He has been the voice of Allstate, Coors, and many other PSAs. He is actor and performer, native New Yorker. Welcome, Garret Davis. Hello, how are you? How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. And I just want to start out by asking you, what was your very first acting gig?
Professionally or just in life?
Yeah, whatever you want to share.
Um, I, before I started, getting really good gigs, I was doing extra work. I think a lot of actors start out like that. And
Yeah.
one of my very first gigs was working on the Clifton Davis show called "That's My Mama."
You were on That's My Mama?
Yeah, but I was just an extra, you know.
But yeah. That was your start.
Yeah, but I did a lot of
That's so
extra work.
cool. Uh-huh.
It's a way of finding out how to, get around the sets and meeting people and getting used to, being on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who were your influences though? Now you are from New York, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay. Now,
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Oh, okay. How was it like growing up in Brooklyn?
I live in California now, and
Uh-huh.
and growing up in New York, it was I was very thankful in the sense that when you grow up in a city like that, you don't take a whole lot for granted. It was a beautiful city.
Uh-huh.
I enjoyed living there as a kid, and it was great because the neighborhood that I lived in, it was multicultural. Had everybody in it, so it was a great upbringing living in New York.
That is something else. I visited New York for the first time this year. So it was quite an experience.
I'm sure it was.
Me being in Houston, yeah, it was really, really an experience. So now how did you get into acting and who were your influences though?
It's funny. Like I said, I grew up in New York, and growing up there, I had a lot of chances to do things in school, like performing plays and things like that.
Uh-huh.
Well, one of my biggest influences was Ozzie Davis.
Wow.
Ozzie, he did a lot of great films.
Mhm.
He was a great spokesman for our rights, and I loved him in Ruby D.
Oh,
So
I love Ruby D too.
yeah, and getting to watch them do things together and even separately, it was a big influence on my life.
Yeah, but you've done a lot of stuff. You've done a lot of voiceovers, you've done a lot of commercials. Uh,
Yes. As an
you've done a
actor,
lot of TV series too.
yeah, as an actor, you have to try to do everything you can to make a living.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
blessed that I was able to do something that make a living at something I love to do.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
So can you tell me what was it like memorable commercial that you've done behind the scenes that you can share?
Well, actually, it was a commercial that was out almost a year and a half ago. I
Uh-huh.
got to work with Kenny G,
Oh, and
and
on what? What was that about?
it was a Bud Light commercial,
Oh, okay.
and it was in the Super Bowl, shown on during the Super Bowl, and getting to work with him was really really a pleasure. We had a good time together.
Uh-huh.
When you get cast in these commercials, you don't always know who you're gonna be working with, and I was surprised that when I got on set, Kenny G was there. So
Wow.
it was a great experience.
How was Kenny G? But you and Kenny are friends, right?
We are friends.
Yeah.
After we got to work together, we exchanged numbers, and we remain friends to this day.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's a really great guy, really easy to work with, and a true professional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is there anybody that you would like to work with that you have not? Maybe a bucket list of actors or actresses that you would like to share the screen with, or TV
Yeah.
series with?
Well, there's plenty of them, but on my bucket list, I want to work with Denzel. I
Ah,
mean,
okay.
I want to do a film with Denzel Washington. I'd like to work with him in any capacity, in the sense that he's a great director as well. So to
Mm-hmm.
be directed by him would be great. But I'd also like to work with one of my favorite heroes of screen is Morgan Freeman. My
Okay.
my my favorite film of all time is The Shawshank Redemption.
Yours too. Man,
Yeah,
I've seen that movie at least 50 times.
I've seen it more.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it about Morgan Freeman that stands out to you that you admire?
Well, Morgan, I mean, he's had a very long career, and I
Yeah.
mean, he's exceptionally good at what he does. I mean, when you get cast as God, I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, he's got a great
He's
voice.
got a great
Uh,
voice.
I love his professionalism, and I mean, just look at his varied work. He's done a lot of great work, and he's one of the biggest icons in film, especially with actors, of color. So
Mhm.
I really like to work with him. As a matter of fact, uh, Alfonso, his son, is a good friend of mine, and Alfonso is doing the same thing that most actors are doing. They're trying to get work. They're trying to do their thing, and he's not necessarily leaning on his father's laurels, but he's working just like all of us.
Don't you think he should lean on his father's laws?
Well, I
Because
mean,
I mean, if he's
I'm
yeah,
sure
I
he
guess
gets work. I'm sure he
yeah,
gets work based on who he knows and who his father is. But I mean, it's a thing in the industry where people who help to get you work, and
yeah,
I think some people like to do it on their own. You know.
yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. What do you think about this strike? What are your thoughts about the writers' SAG strike? You have any
Well,
thoughts about that?
the writers have made a deal, and bravo to them. They stood on the line for quite a long time, and the
Uh,
actors are doing the same thing. I think one of the main things that has affected the industry is, you know, uh, one of the biggest things that they're striking for is people taking your likeness and replicating it with AI and using it without pay. I don't think that's fair. One of the things as actors that we get paid for is our image, and if they replicate your image and is used over and over again, and
mhm.
you don't get paid for that, you know I think that's a bad idea, and
Yeah,
I think at this point, actors deserve, or especially a lot of people think that all actors are in that 1% where they get paid lots of money all the time. People behind the camera and people in front of the camera, it's a job. You get paid for what you do, but a lot of actors, they wait tables, they have extra jobs that they do
yeah.
outside of the business, and it helps them to you know this strike is going to help them hopefully uh,
Mhm.
get rid of AI and make more money for what they do.
I would say so, because it is so unfair how they treat the actors and the writers, and I'm glad they came to some type of conclusion to try to end this strike. So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's a blessing.
yeah,
What do
it
you
is a blessing.
It is. Where do you see the industry going in the next 20 years? Do you think I think, in my opinion, I think AI is going to eventually win.
I don't know if AI is going to win. I mean, in terms of stealing your image and flashing it all over the place without you
Your
being
permissions.
right, without you being paid for it. But I mean, look at the films that we watch now. Think of films like Avatar and
Yeah.
all the great effects that they do in films. It's quite amazing. I mean, when you go back in the day and you look at films like King Kong and you see how that film for its time was noted for the special effects. Now special effects are such a big part of filmmaking, and I think that's going to be more inclusive, and I think it actually helps to make films more realistic.
Yeah, it is. It's something else because that has come a long way. All the special effects, it has come a very long way, and they're improving it as the years go by.
That's right.
And yeah, I just hope that, because now I think they were trying to mimic the actors with the AI and just using their faces. So do you think that in the future that actors can get paid and for them using them as AIs?
Well, I don't know if they're going to be changing that. I mean, that's one of the things that they're striking for now. They're trying not to let that happen. Also in the future, I think what we're going to see is we're going to see more people of color, but and more diverse roles for people of color in film and television and all areas of the entertainment industry. But AI, I mean, it is a part of our life.
Yeah, it is.
I would imagine there are good parts of it, but in terms of actors, I don't think you should be replicated without getting fair funds and pay for what you do.
Absolutely. So you not only act, you sing too, right?
I do.
Wow, you act, sing, voiceover.
Well, the school, I went to Los Angeles City College Theater Department, and that was one of the greatest choices that I ever made. And we were able to do everything from stage managing, building sets, lighting, directing, and we did everything. We did dramas, we did musicals, we did Shakespeare, and those are the things that help you to become a better actor, a better performer, really.
So let's switch gears here. Not only do you are a performer, but you are a cowboy. How does a California man become a cowboy?
Well, you got to start in Brooklyn, really. When I was a kid, I mean, in the wintertime, there's not a whole lot of things to do. You can sit in the basement, listen to music, But a bunch of my friends and I don't know if you've seen the film Concrete Cowboy, but that was kind of the beginning of my horsemanship. We started to go horseback riding. I couldn't, of course, my parents couldn't afford to pay for my, going to, ride all the time. So the stable that I first started riding in, renting horses, I started working there, mucking stalls, doing everything I could to help the stable. And then I started taking people out on rides, and then I started taking care of other people's horses. And then as I got older, I was able to, get my own horses. And I'm number 4 roper. I'm a healer. I chase cattle, and I don't know if I'm sure it's in my blood because originally my folks are from Texas.
What part?
Galveston, the Houston Galveston area.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. A couple of years ago, I was down in your neck of the woods in Beaumont at a Zydeco rodeo festival, and we had a great time, and the barbecue was off the chain.
You got to get that cue in you. That's for sure.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
It's interesting that you would find yourself being a cowboy and an actor. So,
Well, I mean,
go ahead.
it adds to your repertoire. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to do another gig where I'm going to be on horseback. I can't really talk about it right now, but it gives me an entree into doing other things that that horsemen do.
Yeah.
You know.
So is this a movie coming out or a TV series? Can you tell at least that?
I can't talk about it right
You
now.
can't say anything. Okay.
But I mean, as you've seen, there have been films now where you see the American black cowboy.
Yeah.
We were a very, very big part of movement, to the West and bringing cattle to the train yards to be shipped in major cities. Our story really hasn't been told. It's from the Buffalo Soldiers, to all the black cowboys that worked on ranches. We played a very prominent part in building this country, and the black cowboy's story is finally starting to be told.
That is so wonderful. It needs to be told. It needs to be told, because especially when they're trying to rewrite our history. You can't rewrite our history.
Well,
it is what it is. You cannot rewrite that.
No, our history is American history. We helped to build this country. Many of the inventions that are used today were invented by people of color. We are a gumbo of people from all different cultures, and that should be celebrated.
It should be celebrated. What would you say to someone who is looking to break into acting or voiceovers? Should they sign up with an agency?
Well, I mean, Cindy, you have to remember, as I said earlier, you have to study the craft. You have to find your way, your inroad into what you're doing. Whatever city that you're in, if you're a performer, start out doing plays. Get to know the theater people in your community. Get to know other actors that are doing things, and from them you can find out where you can study, where they're doing theater. Start looking for opportunities like that. Start doing short films. There's a lot of great young filmmakers out there doing things, and that's an inroad into learning the craft. As a matter of fact, because of what I was able to do, I'm a member of the West Coast team of the Orlando Urban Film Festival. We just had our 10th year anniversary, and we brought a lot of new content, and we're building that film festival to be one of the best film festivals in the United States of America.
That's incredible. Because once you get involved, one thing leads to another and another and another. And if you keep going and don't give up, you eventually end up to your destination where you want to go.
Exactly. One of my greatest quotes from my mama was, "Don't ever give up." A lot of people will poo-poo the fact that you want to do a certain thing, whatever your acumen is in wanting to learn whatever craft you want to study. Don't give up. Hold on to your dreams. Try to do the things that you love to do, and in the meantime, find ways to help your life. You can still work jobs and still seek out ways to work on what you love to do.
Absolutely. What would you like to be remembered as? What would you like people to remember about you?
Well, one of the things I'd like to be known as a good father, a giving human being, and someone who loves God.
Oh, that's important. Yeah.
It's very important.
Amen. Amen. Well, I want to thank you so much again for coming on and sharing your story with me and encouraging others. Yeah, you're welcome. And encouraging others to pursue their dreams. And if you can do it, if anybody that's out there that's doing it can do it, you can do it too.
That's right. That's right. Just, hold on to your dream. It's a wonderful thing to make a living at something that you love to do. And I just encourage everybody out there to be as positive as you can, to be as loving as you can, and shoot for the stars.